What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up. Sports Talk via Chicago. We're back. Summer break is over. Nick Harvey, Big Nick the Quick's in the building.
It's back. It's been a long time.
Man, I was looking at the page, and it's been a month.
Yeah.
Feels like 3.
No, I think it's been since like May. I don't think we did anything in June.
Yeah, so I guess it's been almost 6 weeks.
Almost 2 months, yeah.
Yeah, real shit.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Summertime,
it's slow, but the NBA has kept it pretty spicy.
Crazy
spicy. Extra spicy.
Non-stop. Yeah.
3-piece spicy. Extra crispy.
Yep.
We're going to do an NBA recap. We're going to talk free agency. We're going to talk the big stories. Anything else that's popping right now. The NFL is kind of around the corner.
Yep.
College football's in 45 days, so that means the NFL's right after that. Training camp starts next week.
Yep.
So we got lots to talk about.
Mitch Trubisky's 75 Madden rating.
Yo.
They disrespect
Is that
him.
What it is?
Yeah, and Josh Allen's a 74.
Wait, a 75?
They gave him the 75. They hit him with the 75. The C. It's a C. That's a C minus.
That is kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, very disrespectful.
That's disrespectful for the true man.
But Khalil got the 99.
99.
Yeah, 99.
I think 1 of 4 people that got 99.
Yeah.
Him.
Gurley.
Who?
Wasn't Todd Gurley getting 99?
What?
I thought
his
Todd
knees
Gurley,
don't even work no more. Yeah, 99. Nah,
Gurley,
bro.
dude on the Bobby Wagner.
It was Wagner, Khalil Mack,
yeah.
Donald, and someone else.
Gurley.
Nah, bro.
Yes.
Gurley ain't getting no 99.
I'm telling you, Todd Gurley, they hit him with the 99.
Hold on, G. I got to look this up right now.
Todd Gurley with the 99.
Madden 20, what is this, 2020 ratings?
Yeah. Madden 2020, Todd Gurley, 99.
Dude, you're so wrong, bro. He didn't even play in the playoffs. How you got 99, bro? Come on, G, stop it. They talking about his knees. He said he had arthritis.
I know.
How you got a 99, bro?
Lighten his workload this year.
Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Khalil Mack, DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, that's who it was. Okay,
the boy with the hands.
Yeah. Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins got the hands.
Hopkins got the 99.
Bro, he's like that.
Yeah, he's good.
But someone's definitely biased over at EA.
That's a wild. Yeah, so I love DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league. But that's
for him to be the only wide receiver to get a 99.
Yeah, 99 is like Aaron Donald level. Yeah, you got to be like, okay, hands down.
It has to be no discussion.
No discussion. Yeah.
No doubt. Let's catch up real quick, G. What you been on?
Man.
What you been up to? I ain't seen you. I've been out of town.
Yeah.
I've been out of
summer,
town,
man. You know, nothing too crazy, man. Happy I know you don't like to talk about the weather, but happy the weather's finally nice. Getting to kick it outside. Barbecue and all that, man. Nothing too crazy though.
Of course.
Yeah, just enjoying the summertime, man. It's nice to be outside the house.
Yes, man.
Like I don't think you really appreciate like that 2 months that you get to get back outside because it's wild for the other 10 months, but chilling, man. How about you, man? You've been on a whirlwind tour, man.
Not even a whirlwind tour.
Multi Vegas trip.
Yeah, I've been in Vegas a bunch. I was playing some poker.
Yeah.
Got to experience playing some poker tournaments, which was a lot of fun. I made some money.
Yeah. So
positive I didn't make any money in tournaments, but I'm a cash game guy.
Were you in the green for the trip though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In the black. I was in the we made some money.
Okay.
So it was a fun, profitable summer out there. So it was cool.
Decent.
And it was dope because since you want to talk about the weather all the time, I heard when I was out there it was pretty brick out here in like early June.
Yeah.
And all of June.
It was still like winter.
Yeah, so I skipped that and then I came back and now it's hot. So it's good.
Nice, it's decent, yeah.
I wanted to, since we're talking about Vegas, the Summer League.
I
went out there, was able to catch a couple games, saw everyone in the world.
Yeah.
If you want to go out and see like everybody in the NBA and like they're in the arm's reach from you, go out to Vegas for the Summer League.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
Go hang out at the Wynn. Yeah. Go hang out at Aria. Go hang out at the Cosmo. They're everywhere.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You want to bump into the GM? He's there.
Yeah.
You want to bump into Zion Williamson? He's out there. Yeah. Like, everyone is there, and they're just walking around.
Just walking around, yeah.
So, that was cool, man. I was able to my guy D. Will was out there for some meetings. My guy Max works for Tandem, so he was out there. So, I was able to kick it with him. Met a lot of dudes. Kicked it, had a glass of wine with Steve Blake.
Shout out Steve Blake.
Legend.
Did you ask him about the fight?
Nah, bro, I didn't ask him about it. But it was
about when Steve Blake put the hands up. You should have that clip queued up.
Nah, it was on my.
Steve Blake put up the hands.
Yeah, no, Steve Blake's not going. Steve Blake's super cool dude.
Yeah.
Kicked it with a bunch of NBA dudes. It just reaffirms that just regular guys that are hoopers. Speaks for the Bulls. Talked to Thad Young. He's happy to be in Chicago.
Of course.
He got some love on the deal. He was happy about that. Yeah. I reassured him that the winners aren't as bad as he thinks they're going to be.
Yeah, we played in Minnesota for a year, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah, he'll be all right.
He's used to the Midwest.
He'll be all right, man.
So
the money.
He's looking forward to coming out. I saw Kobe White at the Cosmo. Said what's up. Had a good year. Have a good year. All that. So everybody's out there.
Everybody's out there. Everybody who's anybody.
Yeah, anybody who's anybody.
Bron, you saw Bron? Bron moves in a different. Bron probably moves in a different way.
Bron was there for that first Zion game.
Yeah.
And like the night before, maybe he was in there, kicked it, and then they were going.
He moves differently.
Yeah, he's not. I didn't see him walking.
He's not gonna be walking around the casino like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, because like he can't do that.
He can't do that.
Like Malcolm Brogdon could still walk around the lobby.
Malcolm Brogdon can sit down, have a cup of coffee. No,
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Malcolm Brogdon, yeah.
Oh, dude, kicked it, played some blackjack with who's the PG on Detroit? I'm blanking.
Oh,
Reggie Jackson.
Dude, yeah, Reggie Jackson.
Play some blackjack with Reggie Jackson. Like everybody was kicking
Everybody's
it.
out there. Yeah.
Everybody's just cool. So that was fun. It was fun to see everybody. It was fun to catch some hoops. It was good to see.
You see the Bulls?
I didn't see the Bulls.
Okay.
I watched. I ended up watching all their games on TV.
Yeah. Because
what I would usually do was get up, get some breakfast, kind of kick it. And then I would catch the games in like the afternoon, and then we go out at night, get some dinner and all that stuff.
Yep.
Daniel Gafford was balling.
Yeah, crazy.
Like stupid. Yeah. Like I hate to be like, yo, this guy what a steal, but like
summer league.
He looked really good.
Yeah.
So that was
he looked like he developed into one of those rim running bigs, crazy athlete, plays hard. Yeah.
All that.
Just got to kind of put it together, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's talk about this NBA free agency.
Man, where do you want to start?
Man.
I think we should start, the day after the finals ended? I want to say, if the finals ended on a Thursday, on Friday, Anthony Davis was traded.
Yes, I think that sounds right.
24 hours.
I mean, but he was traded months prior.
He was traded months prior, but the deal was finally put together, leaked, put out, whatever it was just... we can even go back just real quick on the playoffs and the finals. Just what a playoff and finals for the NBA, right? Shout out to Toronto, Kawhi. We didn't really get a chance to talk about that, but shout
an
out Kawhi
absolute
Leonard.
all-time run,
an
all-timer. They will go down in history.
Whenever you needed him, he was there.
It will go down in history as one of the
best runs ever.
One of the best runs of all time.
Yeah, and just the two-way play, the rebounding, the buzzer beaters, the big moments.
The situation of him being traded and him being there for 1 year period, point blank. Yeah. Like, it's an all-timer, bro.
Yeah, and just the emergence of some of the other guys on that squad. You got the Pascal. Shout out Fred VanVleet, Rockford's finest.
All that. It was great, man.
It was great. I mean, just a great NBA playoffs, and then it ends. You think it's going to be cool for a minute before July 1st, or June 30th, I should say, hits. And then, bam, Anthony Davis traded the next day.
Yeah.
To the Lakers, right, in that deal with the Pelicans, in which the Pelicans got a pretty good haul. I think some people are overrating what they got a little bit, especially on the player side. It's like, hey, look, I get it. Like, there's a lot of potential with these dudes if they pan out, but we've also seen these dudes play together, right? I loved Lonzo coming out the draft. There was no bigger Lonzo Ball guy than me, but look, a lot needs to go right with him, right? Like, he needs to learn to become at least an average shooter. Brandon Ingram, he checks the box on like everything that you want. He's young, he's big, he's athletic, he's versatile, but we still haven't seen him prove that he can be a number one or like a number two guy. But again, he's still pretty young. Josh Hart is Josh Hart. If you have a good team, Josh Hart's going to be a good rotation player for you. He's solid, whatever, but nothing necessarily to write home about. The picks could be good, but if the Lakers are good for a while, and Anthony Davis is still a young player, so yeah, LeBron might be at the tail end of his career, but Anthony Davis is entering his prime. Assuming they keep him and continue to build around that, those picks might not necessarily turn into anything great. So it's always good to get first-round picks. It's good to get NBA players that can come and play for you. I'm happy that they got that done, but people were like, oh, my God, David Griffin, like he pulled off the biggest deal ever, which – Let's keep it real here. David Griffin, when he wasn't working for the Cavs, he was working for ESPN. He's like the most loved executive by the media. They call him Griff.
Yeah.
Anytime the media calls you by your nickname, it's like if they were like, "Hey, Quick made a good trade," they'd be like, "Oh, okay." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't trust what you're saying. You call my man Griff.
You saying Rich Paul gets his whole name saying?
Yeah,
Richard Paul.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's just like, I think they got a lot of love on that, and it was a good deal for them. But they were also, there was no choice. We saw the deals that came after that, and it's like, hey, you maybe could have got more, but. Whatever. I like the deal. Obviously, Anthony Davis wasn't going to stay around there. You had to do something. You're bringing in Zion. You got some young players, and he bought some time. So I can't knock that. But it started on day one with the AD trade, going to team up with LeBron, and apparently nobody else.
We'll start on the Lakers then.
Yeah.
Do you think they missed out on anyone by waiting for Kawhi? Or was that about as much as they were going to get anyway?
I think that's all they were going to get.
Right. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it.
So who actually signed a contract, right? Who left the team? Kevin Durant wasn't going to play for the Lakers.
No.
Kyrie Irving wasn't going to play for the Lakers, right? Who else signed somewhere? Kemba Walker wasn't going to play for the Lakers.
They were talking about it.
But I think if you're Kemba Walker, the best situation you could possibly go to is Boston.
Why?
Because Brad Stevens has had success with that type of player. The reason he didn't have success with Kyrie had nothing to do with basketball. That was just a personality mismatch. I mean, we talked about it all year. Their whole situation was screwed up the entire year. If you're Kemba, who's by all accounts a great teammate, a great guy, and we know he's ultra talented, why not go with Stevens, who's had success with that, and you slot right in there? Hey, we need a number one scorer. You are a number one scorer. Yeah, but you're not an asshole. You're not going to walk around telling Jason Tatum that the earth is flat and things like that. You know what I mean? So I think if you're him, that's the best situation. I think it's tough. Who wants to go play with LeBron? I wouldn't. Just entering that orbit of that scrutiny and that constant just like guys don't necessarily want to do that, especially if you're established like that. I think for AD, but we also know who's pulling the strings back there. That's Clutch. He's in the clutch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking more of, I guess, the second tier guys. Like, would they have tried to prioritize J.J. Redick instead of Danny Green if they knew Kawhi wasn't going? Something like that. That's more of what I was thinking. Or like a Bogdanovich. Yeah. You know what I mean? Add someone like that in that second tier that they essentially were waiting for Kawhi. Yeah. And people that they could have pitched were flying off the board because they were waiting on Kawhi.
True.
And Kawhi played him.
Yeah. Fleeced him. He made sure they didn't get anybody else.
We're gonna get to Kawhi.
Yeah.
But I want to address that whole LeBron atmosphere. I think that's overplayed. Because you're gonna get scrutiny wherever you go if you're a big time player.
Yeah.
It's gonna be heightened with the LeBron thing, but dog, and I love that they announced he's going to play point guard. Man, if I'm Anthony Davis and LeBron's going to be my point guard, why wouldn't I want to go over there?
Hasn't he played point guard the last 16 years?
Yeah, but
but
you know what
I mean? Like he's the primary ball handler on any team he's on.
But if they were going to add, but if you're Kemba Walker, and then can you imagine being like Kemba Walker or like say Kyrie, for example, they add you and then they're like, all right, LeBron's gonna run the one. You're like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, like, bro. I'm the point guard type thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's like it would have had to fit, but yeah.
I see what you mean by the second tier guys, but also in their defense, I mean, when you're in that position and you're one of his finalists, and obviously hindsight is 2020. It's easy to say, oh, they got played, they should have saw it coming. No, nobody. There's not a person on this earth, and in the leak age. Right, where if I tell you something right now, there's a fucking 8% chance that someone we don't know might hear about it. You know what I mean? It's just the world that we live in. Mm-hmm. In the leak age, especially in like something where in the NBA free agency where everybody's trying to get a story. Everybody's talking to everybody's cousin. You're talking to somebody's gardener. You're talking to his masseuse. You want to find out what's going on.
Right.
Nothing came out. You can't blame them for playing the Kawhi waiting game because it's all worth it if he comes, right? And again, we can look back on it and be like, oh, well, he didn't come. They played themselves. But it's all good. When the dust settled, you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, and that's what you're building around.
And I think
figure it out.
You had to wait.
You had to wait. You had no choice.
You had no choice.
If you have a choice,
he was holding you hostage. Yeah.
If that goes through, you have LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Kawhi Leonard. You could have Nick Harvey and Sean Little as the other two spots on there, and you're going to win some ball games.
And we're scoring a couple buckets.
And I'll probably hit a 3 or 2.
And I'll
fuck around and get a triple-double. But, so at that point, like, they have no real choice. So, like, yeah, it's easy to say you missed out, but, I mean, it is what it is at that point. But, so, no. Kawhi did his thing. I mean, nobody saw it coming. That was well played. I mean, all you could say once it happened is there was not a person who was like, yo, I had this coming, right? Not a single person, and it came out of nowhere, and that's just kind of how it shook. But at the end of the day, they still have LeBron and Anthony Davis. And if Boogie, and I don't even want to talk like this, but if he gets healthy, right? Because understand, last year he was spending the regular season when he came back trying to get into shape, right?
Yeah.
And Boogie's a big man. It's not like a small guy getting back into shape. When a big man doesn't play and doesn't work out for a while, he's just going to get out of shape. That's a lot of man. You know what I mean? And he played at a pretty hefty size, right, to begin with.
I mean, he was never in elite shape.
He was never in elite shape, but he was a big dude that was like, powerful and all that. That's just not gonna. You can't play that back into shape in 25 regular season games, right? Dude spend the entire offseason getting ready for the season. So you can't take what you saw from him in the playoffs and say that's Boogie. That's for sure what he is going forward. So if they were able to steal him, right, and he turns into 75% of the player that he was, that could end up being a really smart sign. I thought that should have happened from day one. I mean, if you're Boogie, that's the best situation you can go into. You're going to play because look at the roster. It's me, AD, and Kuz, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Lakers signed Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Danny Green, Avery Bradley.
Danny Green signing is great.
Quinn Cook, Troy Daniels.
I didn't realize that. I didn't even think about that. Danny Green, Avery Bradley's been off the radar for a couple of years. If he can be okay, he's a good defender. Danny Green, look, you know what Danny Green is.
Yeah. Get
him in the playoffs. The boy's been there before. He's a winner.
3-and-D.
He's got 2 of them.
He runs around. He's in great shape.
He knocks
down. He knocks down jump shots.
Yep,
yeah.
sure. He played with LeBron before. LeBron knows him.
Yep.
That's his guy. Yeah. Sure. Bring him on.
And he's under no pressure.
Yeah.
He's just going to go out there and play ball.
Right.
Jared Dudley, bring some character.
Veteran character guy. Those are the type of guys that like to play. LeBron loves those type of guys because LeBron's all about guys. It was like Channing Frye a few years back. You want those guys who keep the mood light. LeBron knows his aura.
Talking about Channing Frye, the guy that shot like 96% from 3.
Yeah, he was
ridiculous.
The cooker. But, you read all the articles. It was like, oh, he was great for the locker room. Yeah. It was so tense before he got there. So you need those types.
Yeah, they started shooting podcasts on the plane, all that.
Young NBA players, let me tell you something right now. Be Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley will get checks for another 4 to 5 years in this league. And when he's done with that, he'll get a nice little TV show. He'll be on Get Up. Be Jared Dudley. It's the path to success. Be Jalen Rose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody likes you. Guys want to bring you in.
Do not be Carmelo Anthony.
Do not be Carmelo. Don't be
Carmelo
left. Don't play musical chairs left with nowhere to sit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Don't.
That was so good.
But the thing with Melo though is Melo's made hundreds of millions of dollars, so he's okay. But like when you're talking about a Jared Dudley, like be Jared Dudley, man. It's cool. Look at Vince Carter. They're still talking about, hey, should we sign Vince Carter? He's 42 years old.
Yeah.
Be like that. It's not that. Just be a good dude, and the league will reward you forever. They want that.
Speaking of that,
it's crazy.
When I was in Vegas,
shout out Jared Dudley.
You know how many like Steve Blake guys I saw that were part of some
forward office?
I do. Tayshaun Prince.
Oh yeah, Tayshaun's doing big things, isn't
Brendan
he?
Haywood.
Isn't Tayshaun a GM or like a
he's like
director
assistant GM or something? Yeah. I mean, you would see all these
Brendan
dudes.
Haywood, yeah.
Brendan Haywood, Steve Blake. Who's like some other people I saw? Earl Boykins.
Boykins.
Like you see guys like that. They're just.
Earl Boykins was like 5. How small was Earl Boykins?
Oh my God, bro, he's little.
Is it like crazy to believe that he played in the
Earl
NBA when he saw him?
Boykins was walking by and he was his head was almost even with the roulette table.
He used to get buckets.
You know what I'm saying? Like Earl Boykins was a bucket
in the association.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Earl Boykins can play ball.
He's like 5'6".
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, no, but not. But
I think 5'6", 5'7", 5'8".
5'9". Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Tiny.
Little dude. Basket.
Bucket. Give
me
those.
But yeah, exactly. That's a good
stick
point.
around, man. I mean, I think Jalen Rose is like the pinnacle of it. It's like, Jalen Rose, good player, right? Never was an all-star, but was always a popular player, great with the media, always available to give an interview. And look at him now. He's making $5 million a year at ESPN.
Chilling.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's chilling.
He's good.
Yeah.
Like the basketball money's in the bank. I
And-
spend this
and-
ESPN check.
And hasn't really, how do I say this without sounding petty? Hasn't compromised himself at all.
No.
Still acts the same, talks the
100%
same,
himself.
dresses the same. And yeah, he's done exactly.
Done
It's
exactly
the
what you're supposed to
blueprint.
do. It's the blueprint.
He's got the blueprint
The
up
blueprint.
there. No doubt.
You know? So yeah. But
But yeah, dude, this
so
is.
yeah, we're going to I was wondering how we got there. We're talking about Jared Dudley, the
Yeah,
Lakers
we're talking
signing.
about Dudley,
yeah.
But yeah, this is by far the wildest NBA summer of all time. I mean, it's just the first time. I mean, the NBA, we know the players run the NBA.
We say it every summer.
But this is the first time where we've almost seen every player get whatever he wants at every move.
Mm-hmm.
AD wants to go to the Lakers. Kawhi legit had this shit set up. There's no way he didn't have this set up in his head. He's like, listen, I'm going to sit back, let everybody pick where they're going to go. No one's even thinking about asking OKC to trade for Paul George.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that. I'm going to leverage them into trading Paul George for the Clippers, and I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
He just sat back and
I'm
kicked
going to
it.
use Toronto as a little carrot. Like, oh, Toronto was interested in trading.
Yeah. Like, he just sat back and he maestroed the whole shit. It's actually incredible.
Well, you know the crazy thing, and I think this is where it's not like, you know, the NBA knew that this could happen, but what the NBA was banking on, and what's crazy is that if you look at it, Kawhi Leonard essentially, right, paid $90 million to get out of San Antonio. If you look at if you look at what he ended up getting and ended up, you know, what he could have had he stayed in San Antonio and signed the Supermax, the 5-year, you know, the Damian Lillard situation.
Yeah.
Essentially $90 million. And I think the league said at no point will players ever give up that much money to leave. But now you've seen Durant do it. You've seen Kawhi do it. You saw Boogie do it out of Sacramento. And whether or not he wanted to leave, I'm not 100% sure. But you see these guys say, nah, I'll leave that money. Kimba, I mean, he left Charlotte, but apparently they were trying to lowball him, which
Mike tried to lowball him. Yeah.
Mike needs to chill.
Yeah.
But, you know, you see that. At the same time, Kawhi Leonard is a grown-ass man, and he shouldn't have to pay $90 million to go to where he wants to play basketball. At the end of the day, I think it's too punitive on the players, in my opinion.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah?
I mean, I think the team has to have some leverage.
They do.
And that's the leverage that they get. Like,
$90 million?
But he did that. He did it twice, essentially,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He left San Antonio.
Well, still
and
like
left
50
Toronto.
or 60 from San Antonio.
Right.
That's a lot of
Right.
a lot of leverage.
But it's like you gotta have your small market team have a little bit of leverage to be like, hey, this is you. We want you to stay, and if you stay, here's an extra 50. If you're gonna give up that, they really don't want to be there,
It's
right?
a hell of a lot of leverage.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I just think it's too much bread.
Literally, everyone's just gonna go to LA. Everybody
See,
just
but
want to play ball. LA, Miami, and New York.
People think that, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think if something good was going on at a smaller market team, people would go there.
Now, what you really
I don't think where you play.
Now, what you really got to do is
how
get
much
that,
time do you spend in that city, bro? You travel for half the year.
Bro, Kawhi would have given up his whole. He gave up everything to get to LA.
That's a whole. Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Toronto's an outlier, but yeah, I get it. But
Dude, this quality of life and where they live and where their family's being raised, that's a big deal.
where
bro.
your family's being raised makes a difference, right? For the older players. But at the same time, man, it's like where you are right now is where you live. Kawhi lives in the house that he's living in right now. All these guys live in the house that they're living in right now.
What you really do is you got to finesse the sign and trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get the Supermax,
and
you're like,
and
actually, get me out of here.
Let me get out of here. Yeah. Give me that money.
That's the super petty.
Yeah.
No, I'll stay.
That's the Chris Paul.
Let me sign the Supermax.
That's what Chris Paul did in the Clippers.
I'll sign the Supermax.
I'll sign that $40 million a year and then move me out over here.
Actually, you got to move me. I don't want to be here no more.
So it's just crazy, though. I mean, but like we said, I mean, it's good. It's crazy. It gives us something to talk about. The league is completely rearranged next year. Of the top 20 players, 8, 9 of them move teams. Yeah. You know, we haven't even talked. So what's the next thing that happens?
I mean, what? So like on day one,
yeah,
I wrote down a little recap. KD, I was trying to say. KD, Kyrie, and DeAndre go to Brooklyn. Kemba to Boston. Jimmy Butler to Miami. Al Horford to Philly.
Yeah, big move.
Big move. D'Lo to Golden State. That's day one.
Yep.
Then we got Russell to Houston.
Yeah.
We got Kawhi and PG to the Clippers.
Uh-huh.
And what is there any other big moves that we're
probably
missing?
something that we're missing. Jimmy to Miami.
Yeah, Jimmy to Miami. I said that, which is peculiar.
And
But
why?
Because I think that's just another it's a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
I think
there's I haven't heard the basketball reason to not stay in Philly for Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler absolutely punted on winning to get a bunch of money and go kick it and live a great lifestyle in Miami.
Which was his whole thing about getting out of Minnesota.
He's punted his career. He's given up on trying to win.
You don't think so?
There's absolutely no reason that he would go to Miami if he was trying to win ball games. He doesn't care about. He's gonna fade away. He's gonna play great basketball.
Yeah.
The next 5 years.
Okay.
He's gonna make a ton of money, and he's gonna go hang out in Miami.
I got one counter to that. Pat Riley says something to these dudes, right? That makes them. Everybody wants to. If you get a meeting with every team in the league is terrified of their player meeting with the Miami Heat. Part of it's lifestyle, I get it. Who doesn't want to live in South Beach, no state income tax? But it's something about the structure. Even LeBron would always talk about the structure that Pat Riley provides, right? You sit down with them, and he convinces you that, like, hey, Jimmy, you might come here, and yeah, it might look kind of barren right now, but we're gonna start making some moves, and we're gonna build a team around you. You got about 4 to 5 years left of prime. Give us 2 years to put together a winner around you. Guys are gonna want to come here just like you want to come here right now, and we're gonna build something because we're the Miami Heat. I think that's part. I don't think Jimmy Butler was just like, fuck it, I want to go live in Miami. I mean, dude lives in L.A. in the offseason. If that was the case, he could have just signed with the Lakers and called it a day. That was the move that I was surprised that the Lakers weren't trying to get Jimmy Butler. That's the perfect player for them.
Yeah, he is.
Jimmy and LeBron.
At the one.
LeBron and Jimmy should have been playing. Yeah, LeBron, Jimmy, and Anthony Davis is defensively.
Ooh, and then LeBron doesn't have to play much D.
You still got to find some shooting because LeBron and Jimmy are both streaky as shit. But at the same time, like that's just a nasty combination, right? So that was the player who I thought. Yeah, I never really thought that, like, until I guess really at the end that Kawhi was going to go to the Lakers, I thought, why are y'all not going after Jimmy Butler? How can you, the dude lives in L.A., right? You could sell him on that unless he has too big of an ego to play with LeBron, which we don't know. Jimmy's a peculiar guy, apparently, so.
Is he really peculiar, or is he just a guy that likes to play ball, talk shit, does his own thing, and wants to make a lot of money and be the man on the squad and go to Miami?
We talked about
he's not even that
complicated. We talked about it before.
complicated.
Jimmy got it out the mud. Jimmy doesn't. He looks at entitled play. That's why he hated Wiggins and Towns. He's like, everything was handed to y'all. Yeah. I had to literally go to community college, Marquette, get drafted at the end, was lucky enough to play for a coach who respected the fact that I could play defense and just started playing me 45 minutes a game when I couldn't even score yet. Right. And I grinded my way to my opportunity. He looks at someone and he's like, Towns, okay, you're good, right? He looks at someone like Wiggins and said, man, if I was born with that pedigree, that athletic ability, that natural size, that ability that if you worked hard, you would be a monster. He looked at that and was like, I cannot look at that. Yeah. Everything was given. And they just handed you $140 million? For what? Yeah. You haven't even done anything.
No, you're garbage.
You're actually trash.
You're actually whack.
You scored 20 a game on like 35% shooting, and you cannot shoot threes, and you don't play defense, and you don't pass, but you have all this talent. But meanwhile, I had to literally grind my way to these max deals. And they still didn't want to give it to me in Chicago. Remember, he had to play a prove-it year. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that's just his whole thing where he's like, fuck it, I really now want to go where I want to go. I didn't want to go to Minnesota. I didn't necessarily want to go to Philly. I like what Pat Riley's talking about. I like this structure and accountability shit that he talks about because that's Pat Riley's big thing. It's structure and accountability, right? And if you're a dude like Jimmy Butler who's just watched entitled players, and it was probably the same thing in Philly. Embiid and Simmons are entitled players, right? Joel Embiid's fat as shit. Like, yo, Joel Embiid, get in the gym this summer, please. Ben Simmons, shoot a Joel Embiid has never been in shape, bro.
Listen, I watched Embiid a bunch, and I watched the Sixers. He's a little out of shape. Why is everybody saying that he's, like, insanely out of shape?
Because you don't...
He is a little out of shape, but I didn't feel like... I never saw him coming down the stretch of games where he was gassed and, like, he couldn't finish.
He would look gassed
sometimes. Like not some Donovan McNabb type shit.
Yeah. You always look... Hey,
yo, McNabb was gassed in the Super Bowl, bro.
That's what T.O. said. He couldn't even get the playoff.
He couldn't even get the playoff.
T.O. was playing with a broken leg. We talk about T.O. playing in the Super Bowl with a broken leg.
No, but yo, Barkley was on Get Up. I think this morning he was crushing Embiid.
Yeah.
He was like, "You're fat. You need to lose 40 pounds. Get in the gym. Blah 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 blah."
Which is one of those things. If you imagine if that dude came to the league, if he came in chiseled, right? Because it's not like he's 25 now, right? So I mean, it's not like he's like 22, 23.
They need to get on there, Kevin Love.
They need to get on that Kevin Love.
Kevin Love is shredded
He
right
got
now.
super shredded. A lot of those dudes did. I mean, a lot of those dudes. Remember when Melo cut up too? Melo was doughy when he came in the league.
When did Melo cut up?
Melo got skinny.
He
got skinny. Look at Melo back in the. Look at braided up Melo. Melo was fat. You know who knew? Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Melo was never in elite shape ever.
But he got better towards the end in New York. He got in better shape. But
yeah.
Joel, you want to see him get in shape. But either way, there was always stories of the two of them kind of being in touch. There's always been shit around Ben Simmons and kind of how he is and, you know, whatever. Is this dude really want it like that? Which I think a lot of that is bullshit. Different guys show it in different ways. But maybe he just said, yeah, Pat Riley spoke to him about that. Oh, we bring accountability here. You know what I mean? I turned Hassan Whiteside into a player, but when he didn't act right, we got rid of him. I turned guys into – how many guys did the Heat turn into players?
Hassan Whiteside, I remember, like, just hearing him talk and
didn't you say you met him one time and you're like, yeah, that dude's not gonna. He should have never given that dude $100 million.
Remember I told you
I would have never given that dude $100 million.
I met this guy in person. I talked to him for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Just saw how he moved. I was like, I would never give this dude $100 million. Like, there's just no way basketball is his number one priority.
Is it just you just picked up his vibe?
It
was just the whole vibe. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
What's an example of me meeting a dude and be like, this dude's just laser focused, or like you hear them talk, and you're like, this dude's.
I would give this dude $100 million. I would give
this guy a whole bunch of money and not be that worried about it.
Yeah, he just didn't.
Maybe like Giannis is a good example.
Yeah.
Like if you ever, I saw a Giannis 60 Minutes interview.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this dude just is locked on playing ball.
Playing ball, that's what he wants to do.
This dude, Hassan Whiteside, after all those antics, I get that the year before he got that, he was literally a 20-20 machine.
Yeah.
He was 20-20 in 5 blocks.
Like 5 blocks.
Like 3 times a week.
He was getting triple doubles with blocks.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? But once you lock this, it's one of those positions where you're like, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
This dude's literally going for 20, 20, and 5. He's playing crazy defense. He's clearing the gas. He's clearing the glass. But man, if I give this dude $140 million, like there's just no in Miami.
Yeah,
there's just no way this guy's gonna be worried about basketball as much as he was before I gave him his money.
Right.
So it's a tough spot. But yeah, I saw him. I talked to him for a little bit. We were out because I was at this is when my guy D Will was on the Heat for a second.
Yeah.
We went down there and I saw him before a game we went to the Kanye concert.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to this dude and I was like, there's just no way.
There's no way I'd hand this dude a
like,
boatload of money.
This is on top of having already heard what he says in the media and how he acts. This is Pat Riley got finessed here.
Yeah.
But
that'll be
the players run the NBA.
Yeah, 100%.
He's a guy but if he did keep his shit on, he's a guy for the next 5 years that's going to be wild, impactful.
He's Jimmy Butler?
No, just Hassan Whiteside.
Hassan Whiteside.
If that did pan. If you do, then if you don't, right?
Yeah, you got to pay him.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like Ben Simmons is a little different. But how you feel about that deal?
The Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
You had to.
It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, and I think that there's
not the potential.
There's not the same type of questions around Simmons that there were around Whiteside. I mean, Simmons is a great player right now. I've said it before. I think the thing with Ben Simmons is he's one of those players now that people have picked him apart so much. Like he's that guy in the league. There's always that guy that gets picked apart so much that you realize. You start to forget what he actually does bring to the table and the fact that he's a 6'9".
Anytime he comes up, it's never what he does. It's what he can't do.
Yeah. Doesn't shoot. Hasn't made an NBA 3. Yeah, but this dude's been a gamer. Now, I will say this. There were moments in the playoffs where it's like, yo, bro, you got to be aggressive. You got to be assertive. Like, you have to be the number 1 pick in the draft. You know what I mean? It can't just be Joel putting in shifts. But we haven't – it's not even like, he needs to work on his jumper. We don't even know what it looks like. He won't take them.
If I was Ben Simmons this year, straight off the tip, first possession, I'm coming down, letting a 30-footer fly.
Letting it fly.
I don't care if I airball. I don't even care.
But he won't. So I mean, it's one of those things where like, yeah, I would have paid him. There's absolutely. I mean, he will always be an asset unless he gets hurt. He will always have value, and if you need to, you can move off of that deal
without question.
Without question. So I think that's why it was great that they retained Tobias, because at the end of the day, someone has to get buckets, like not just Joel Embiid. And I think Tobias is going to do that. But dude, the perfect player for them was Jimmy Butler. So I don't know where it went wrong, but the perfect player for them, in my opinion, was because you needed that, hey, get out the way. Ben Simmons, you're not built like this. It's fourth quarter time. Give me the ball. You know what I mean? I'm going to put it on the table, and here I am. You know what I mean? I'm the alpha, like the true alpha. And I think they kind of needed that, and that you're not getting that from Simmons and Embiid. I think it's just hard to do as a center, you know, who's just
it's
like that type of player.
It's the days of needing a bucket and coming down and dropping it down to Shaq in the post, and him backing down and getting a bucket, like those just not there.
Well, and I mean, you need a Shaq. Yeah, that would work if you had a
but
Shaq type
I mean,
player.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
but you had to.
in this day and age NBA, a bucket is going to come from a perimeter guy. Period.
But while we're on Philly, let's talk about the Horford deal, because I know you have been always critical of Horford. I think you finally came around last year. Maybe you watched a game or two. I'm not sure what happened. But Al Horford impacts winning.
Yeah, absolutely he does.
Impacts winning. And the biggest thing for them, who was Joel Embiid's biggest nemesis?
Al Horford.
Al Horford. They gave him problems.
It was almost like that's why they did the deal.
It's like, fuck, man. He can't go anywhere. I don't never want to play against him again.
We're going to see these guys in the playoffs every year. Let's just go get this. Embiid can't. This guy kills Embiid. Let's just put him on the team. Like forget it.
Kills him defensively, kills him offensively. So I think them bringing in Horford was such a good deal for them. Like Al Horford brings leadership. He brings defense. He brings playmaking ability. He can stretch the floor a bit, which is something that they needed. You can 100% play him with Joel Embiid, right? Like that's for anything for a big man for them. You can play him with Joel Embiid, right? So if you're gonna play a big man next to Embiid, Horford is like the prototype. He's still ridiculously productive, right? And he's a good player to bring around those young guys. And like you said, he was Joel Embiid's biggest nemesis.
And he can shoot it, bro.
He can shoot the ball.
He shoots.
He does. He can play, mate. You can run the offense through him.
He's going to stretch the floor.
He's going to do a lot of different things for them. So I think that was a great move for them. They still got some holes as far as like who's their true point guard, unless they want to play McConnell 38 minutes a game.
No, McConnell's not there anymore. He signed.
Is he gone?
He signed the Pacers. Maybe
it's perfect.
Maybe
TJ McConnell was going to sign with any NBA team as the Indiana Pacers or the Utah Jazz. That's his destiny, is to win playoff games on one of those franchises. But yeah, I mean, I'm always been big on Horford. I think Horford, that's a huge loss for Boston too.
Yeah, McConnell signed with the Pacers.
Okay, that's a huge loss for Boston too when you kind of look at it, because
God, they're going to love him in Indiana.
Who? TJ McConnell? Oh, they love him. He'll have an avenue by the end of the year.
No doubt.
McConnell Way. You know what I mean? He's a Hoosier guy. He's just gritty.
They gonna have his jersey up in all the bars and shit. Yeah, no doubt.
And that's a huge loss for Boston too. I love the Kemba signing. You know, we can touch on that real quick. I love the Kemba signing. I love everything about it. I think if you rank Kemba and Kyrie, yes, overall talent, Kyrie is better, but it's not a huge gap, right? And that talent gap is going to be made up by just how much better of an influence Kemba's going to be on that team. It's going to allow the young guys to develop. I think Kyrie, for whatever reason, it didn't gel. We saw it all year. I told everybody early where that was. The locker room was bad.
Must have been shit, bro.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Had to be terrible. That team won only 50 games. That's crazy. So I think you bring Kemba in there, but again, yeah, they're going to miss Horford. You miss that. You know what I mean? So that was a big deal. How do you feel about Kemba in Boston? How do you feel about Kemba finally getting his shot? Obviously you're happy. We've been free Kemba Walker for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the nation of casual basketball fans are in for a treat. Because they're going to be, the Boston Celtics are going to be on TV way more than, I don't think I saw Charlotte on national TV once.
I think I only saw him play the Bulls.
If that, and
or Sports Center.
It was like
never got an ESPN game.
Yeah, so you're in for a treat to see Kemba on that good a team with that good a coach. And you're right, it does fit. That personality fits a little better with Brad Stevens.
A lot better.
And Kemba's the man, bro.
Love Kemba.
Kemba's the guy.
Never forget the UConn run. Ever.
It was epic. What Kemba did is similar to what Kyrie did in the NBA that year in college basketball. That Big East tournament.
What Kyrie did?
Kawhi did.
Oh yeah, that Big East tournament to finals run.
It was kind of similar.
Epic,
bro. It was epic.
Epic. He played. It was 9 straight elimination games.
Well, what? So like, Kemba's made what 3 All-Star games now?
Yeah,
something like
one
that.
All NBA team.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been out there balling with no help.
Doesn't say shit about it.
Doesn't say anything. Keeps doing his thing.
Yeah.
Kemba's that guy, man. He's fucking East Coast guy. I love Kemba Walker, so I'm excited to see them.
All right, let me ask you. Okay,
I'm excited to see how he transitions into. Okay, I do have some help. I'm excited to see how he dishes.
He's a great playmaker.
Yeah, but like that's not his forte, right?
Yeah,
so
no,
like
he's
gonna be forced to dish a little more than he's used to, or maybe he would even like to. So I'm excited to see how he adjusts to that.
Yeah,
because his shots are gonna go down. They have to, right?
Yeah, and he'll get his regardless.
That'll be interesting.
All right, Kyrie and KD to the Nets. It's a 2-parter.
Yeah.
So we'll look at year 1. Kyrie on this Nets squad, and then when KD comes back, where do you see it? Is he going to be healthy? I mean, which I obviously don't have the answer to, but if you had to guess, I mean, where do you see that? You like the move? How do you feel about it? In the short term, long term.
I mean, I love him, right? I mean, they like for Brooklyn to be able to lock in Kyrie and KD, it's a big win.
Yeah.
I'm still not sold on Kyrie being able to do anything by himself per se. So like this year, everyone talking about the Nets in the 4 slot and shit like that. I think that's a way.
You essentially swapped D'Lo for Kyrie,
right? And do you remember how much of a team that Brooklyn Nets squad was?
Yeah,
they loved each other.
Talked about them all.
Yeah,
Jared Allen. I was like, yeah,
they were just like they loved to come to the gym and play ball
D'Lo
together.
had the green light, and everybody else just played hard.
And they just loved to play together.
Yeah.
And they had no expectations.
They're coached well, yeah.
It's going to be a little different with Kyrie coming over there. We'll see.
Do you want him in your locker room if you're Kenny Atkinson, coach of the Nets? Or, I mean, are you...
I don't know.
Or would they have been just...
like
or could they have just re-signed D'Lo and just kept it going?
If they could have re-signed D'Lo and got KD, I would like that more than I think them resetting and bringing Kyrie and KD together.
That's another year D'Lo becoming the man. He's only 23,
if
24.
that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if I could take D'Lo and KD instead of Kyrie and KD, I think I do that.
Really?
I think I do that.
Why? The person that has to be just a personality
purely
thing.
A fit and a personality thing.
It cannot be basketball.
Because
Kyrie's a better basketball player than D'Angelo Russell.
He is, but I don't think it's by as much as people would
that
say.
That one I disagree with. I think he's far ahead of D'Angelo Russell. He's not far ahead of Kemba Walker. I think he's a much better player than D'Angelo Russell is right now.
Much better.
D'Angelo offers. Here's the thing with D'Angelo Russell. He's 23.
Yeah.
And he's just now getting better. So you know, I mean, Kyrie's ceiling, like, you know what your best Kyrie is going to look like. You know what he is right now. I think with D'Lo, it's like, if this dude keeps getting better, if he becomes a better jump shooter, if he learns how to play any semblance of defense, like, he could become a lot better. But right now, Kyrie's a better basketball player.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about that.
Way better shooter.
I don't know if the gap is as big for him to bring it. If he brings that Boston attitude,
well, that's the issue.
It's like, give me back D'Lo.
By all accounts, he's submarine that team.
A little less quality or a good amount of quality, but fits great. Loves to be here.
D'Lo's having fun.
And KD,
yeah,
man,
right.
Kyrie, it seems like he wants to be in Brooklyn. That's where he picked.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like he wanted to be in Boston too, right? And that shit went down.
According to him at the beginning of the year.
Right. Like that went awry in a hurry.
Yeah.
So it all depends on which Kyrie shows up. And it's the fact that we even have to talk about Kyrie like that's kind of disappointing.
It is.
Because, like...
especially this late in his career.
Yeah, like, the fact that his attitude and that shit has come up and is as big of a talking point as it is disappointing for me because it shouldn't be like that. He already has a ring. He's gotten everything he's wanted almost his whole way in his career. Because when he went to Cleveland, he was in a bad spot. LeBron came and saved him.
Yeah.
Then he gets a ring, gets out of there, goes to his own team, what he asked for. Then he I don't want to say he smoked it off, but
An ultra
He was
talented team at that.
yeah, and he was super spoiled about
Yeah.
a bad attitude. Now he gets to go where he wants again, and it's like I hope
If it doesn't work out for you here, it's you.
yeah,
It's
like
you, dog.
it's
Like, it's you.
it's
Yeah.
even more you
Yeah,
than it's
you.
kind of already
like
is
it really,
now.
Yeah, it's already you right now, but it's like,
Yeah.
yo, if this doesn't work out for you, it's really you.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's something with you that's just not clicking. But yeah, I can't, we'll see what happens with that. I think so. Okay, so second part, KD then. How do you feel he's going to come back at what, 32, 31 from that Achilles injury? Obviously, you have some concern, but are you very concerned about it? I mean, how do you feel about that?
No, I'm not very concerned because I almost got a little preview of even if he came back with the Achilles kind of banged up, that 11 minutes I saw before he snapped it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it was vintage.
It was legit. He's on one leg.
Yeah.
He was catching and firing no problem.
Yeah.
Over people, knocking everything down. He blew it out when he tried to go one-on-one and blow by someone.
Yeah.
He's going to need to have a one-on-one game to get back to that top 2-3 player in the world discussion.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I'm not overly concerned about it because he's a slender guy. He's not a big dude like Boogie.
He's 7 feet tall, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of body.
But never had any lower body injuries before that. I think he'll be back, and he'll be back pretty good. And I think coming off of stuff like D Rose and Kawhi, if he doesn't feel right, he won't play.
He won't play.
I'll be back when I feel 100.
The Kawhi load management thing was a beautiful thing.
Yes, so I think that's a big thing. He doesn't have to worry about people being like, come on, we need you back, we need you back.
Yeah.
And it helps that he's in the East. It helps that Kyrie's already there too. So it's like, hey, do what you got to do to get back and be 100 and come back. So I'm not overly concerned. I do want to comment on that whole Golden State situation. I thought what happened out there was absolutely ridiculous. It was an Achilles from the start.
They knew it.
We talked about that shit from the beginning.
Yep.
He grabbed his Achilles when he first injured it. He walked off like it was Achilles. It was in a calf strain. Nah, bro. He had a messed up Achilles. It was an Achilles the whole way. They never diagnosed it as an Achilles. He got tons of pressure to play.
Someone had to tell him no.
Though he needed someone, and maybe someone did, and he was like, yo, it's the finals.
It's not his call.
I got to get.
Doctors do. Doctors say no.
Right. I get it. But maybe the doctor said, hey, you can go. There's a chance that you do it. And he was like, all right, we don't know, right? But we do know Golden State was letting stories leak.
Yep. Oh my God, the players are questioning him and
Players
stuff like
are
that. That was
questioning him.
crazy.
They never came out and
refuted
defended
that
him
at all.
They never said like, hey, it's up to him. We're going to try to go out and win the title without him. He's hurt.
When you say players are questioning him, look, we know players. It's Draymond Green.
But this is what I'm saying is that
that's the player.
They, in my opinion, are getting left off the hook pretty easy for what they ended up doing. He ends up blowing his Achilles out when they knew it was an Achilles injury. They never ever came out and said it was an Achilles. They stayed true on that calf shit. They're getting off easy for what happens, and if he doesn't come back like he's supposed to, and that elite dude, and I'm glad to see that he got his max money without question, which I thought was interesting. Like
who they say wasn't going to offer the max money? The Knicks.
The Knicks. We'll talk about that really quick, but I thought that was interesting that no one ever questioned that he was going to get the max, which is interesting because he's coming off a blown out Achilles, and he's in his 30s, so that's interesting, but. They got let off the hook easy for that. Just like I still think about Shanahan getting off extremely easy for
ruining RG3.
RG3's.
RG3 had a torn ACL.
He was out there on a torn ACL and then really blew it out.
You could and he was running them every play.
Yeah, it was crazy. So like
he had running naked bootlegs with the quarterback with the torn ACL.
He's out there with a brace. He's getting tackled, getting up. He's limping to the huddle.
It was crazy. That was the most egregious thing I've ever seen in any sport as far as a coach throwing a player out there that had zero business being out on the field.
He got off easy for that.
He was clearly hurt.
He got off easy for that, right? So I think Golden State's getting off easy, and I understand.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on the GM's name at Golden State. What's
Bob
his name?
Myers.
Bob Myers crying up on the desk.
I'm
not trying to hear that shit.
I don't give a fuck.
Right. Like, at the end of the day, y'all needed him to play to try to get that W. So, like, y'all did everything in your power to kind of push him to go play.
Yeah.
He had no business out there. He blew it out right when he made a move that he needed his Achilles in any capacity. It snapped.
It snapped.
So he was in bad shape. So that whole, and to stay on KD and the Knicks, I can't remember. I was talking to someone, I don't remember who it was, but we were talking about that whole New York Knicks wouldn't offer KD the max was a media ploy and a cover-up to make it seem like he didn't pick Brooklyn over them.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a reason why he didn't come to the Knicks.
Yeah.
He would never just voluntarily not come to the Knicks and go to Brooklyn. Like,
can we all just say, can we, let me just be clear out here?
Yeah.
No one wants to go to the Knicks. Who would want to play for that franchise? What about anything that the New York Knicks have done over the last, we'll call it 10 years, would make you say, as a free agent, man, I want to go play for that team and that owner?
It's just very apparent that the owner and the front office matter when it comes to players.
Yeah.
People, like, I've heard Bulls fans, people that we know, that doesn't matter. AD would come if he wanted to. Nah, man.
People don't want to play for Reinsdorf.
People don't want to play for Reinsdorf or Garpax.
Yeah.
They don't want to play for Dolan.
Even more so, Dolan. They know he's crazy.
They don't want to deal with that.
He banned Oakley from the Garden. People don't want to play for that. If you want to go live in New York, you can go play for the fucking Nets.
All that stuff matters.
It 100% matters.
All that stuff matters.
100% matters. That's why if you want to talk about a team getting off, it's the Lakers. All that dysfunction, they still got where they wanted. You know, but yeah, who in their right mind wants to play for the Knicks? KD and Kyrie signed with the Knicks to play with who?
I mean,
Frankie Nicotine?
Nicotina.
They traded Kristaps Porzingis for cap relief.
Yeah, I mean,
cap relief. But I guess
if you have to deal with a shit roster, combined with Dolan, combined with the state tax, combined with how much money you're gonna take, like an L on going to New York, with cost of living and all that shit. It just doesn't seem like it's worth it.
Yeah. You still get to play in the Garden a couple times a year.
Yeah, like simple as that.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this then, because I was thinking about this when I was driving up here. So now that all the dust is kind of settled, right, and we'll talk about Russ trade. That's another story. But
yeah,
who is your favorite in the East?
It's got to be
I haven't even
Philly.
heard this talked about. Like, yeah, who's the best team who's going to represent the East in the NBA Finals? You think it's Philly?
It's got to be Philly, I think. You don't want to discount the Bucks, but I think they take a step back for sure.
Yeah, you think? I think the Brogdon loss was huge.
Yeah,
I would have much rather paid Brogdon than Chris Middleton.
100. I don't know about 100%, but I would have really tried to keep Brogdon.
Brogdon was $50 million cheaper.
Yeah.
I love Brogdon.
Do you think Brogdon could do everything Middleton? Could you let Middleton walk though? And just slide Brogdon in?
No, but I think if you're
spend that money somewhere else.
I think if your philosophy is, hey, we're going all in and just going to go over the tax, keep Giannis happy, you have to bring Brogdon back.
That's another lifestyle thing. Mirotic, it's like, I'm out of here, bro.
Well, Mirotic but he got a crazy ass deal from Real Madrid or Barcelona. You see the money he got?
I still think he left a bunch of money on the table.
He left some money on the table, but he got like, it was something crazy. It was like the biggest contract in EuroLeague history. I want to say it was like $9-10 million a year. It was something crazy that you would never hear of out there. Or maybe $12 million a year.
Let's see. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, it's on there. You'll see it. 50 million.
Mil.
It was like 4 years, 50 million or something.
No,
right?
walks away from potential free agency deal worth 50.
Yeah, he got money from them. Hold on. He got a lot of money from them.
I bet you it's like 20
Mirotic
max. But that just goes back to that whole lifestyle talk. It's like, man, I'm going to Barcelona. My family's out there. I don't know where his family was, but I've lived out there before. I like Spain. I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm out of here. I don't
that's
even
where
need
I'm
to deal
from.
with it.
Yeah. So I
I
grew
don't
up.
need to deal with it like that. I'm out.
I'm good. Bye.
I'm cool.
I got punched in the face out here.
by Bobby Portis.
And the team stood behind the dude that punched me in the face.
Wait, who is this? Yeah, dude. And they still don't like me.
Still don't like me. So yeah, I mean, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, the East is interesting.
So you think Philly, then Milwaukee,
Yeah, Boston,
Indiana.
Indiana
Got better.
but
Brogdon.
yeah.
Brogdon and Brogdon and Oladipo is a nice little backcourt. Miles Turner.
For the 3-4 seed. Come on, let's be real.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. Well, they're gonna they're gonna threaten to win the East. No,
Yeah.
no,
Could.
stop.
They were really good before Oladipo got hurt.
Yeah, they were,
Really good.
and they were really good after he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna win the East
with no Vic.
They're not gonna win the East though.
All right.
You really think the Patriots can win the East?
If the odds were good, I'd take them. If you got good odds, if you saw something nice on the Pacers on the East, you would take it. It's about value.
Odds to win the East. NBA
What would you guess?
futures.
What would you guess?
15-1.
Plus 1,500?
Yeah, like what?
Nah.
All right, this is them to win. Let's see. Where are they at? They're in Indianapolis, Indiana. I think these are to win the championship.
What are they?
Like around plus 3,500.
Some good value out there.
Yeah, so
right
I
now.
mean, so that probably to win the East, they're probably like plus 1,200.
Plus 1,200.
Something like that,
I would say
right?
plus 1,200.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Hey, stranger things have happened.
let me see. Let's look up their
Milwaukee. Yeah. You want to see their actual what it is for the Eastern?
Under, like their totals.
The win totals?
Yeah.
52. No, hell no. 49.
Let's see. How come I can't find these dudes? The
Pacers.
46.5.
Is that what it was?
No, that's what it is right now.
46.5?
FanDuel's got it at 48.5. DraftKings got it 47.5.
Yeah,
47.5.
49.
They won 48 last year.
Yeah.
So that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Bulls at 30.
That's
For all this Bulls talk, everybody's so happy. We picked up, man. We made so many changes. B+ free agency.
pound the
29
under.
wins.
Pound the under.
29 wins.
Pound the under.
I saw Otto Porter. I saw Otto Porter at Summer League.
Yeah.
I was in the Cosmo. I was staying in the Cosmo for a couple of days in the summer. And Otto Porter walked in. I was like, Otto Porter just looked like cash.
Yeah.
He had some Cartiers on, Rolex. It's like, man,
money.
my guy just got so much bread.
got bread.
He's so kicking it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm good.
He looked like so much money.
$25 a year.
Slight.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's talk about the Bulls for a little second.
All right.
I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. We are now the Hornets or the Magic.
I'd love to say this.
This is what we are, though.
I disagree.
Yo, we got people giving the Bulls fans are like, this is a step in the right direction. We're gonna be garbage, and we're gonna continue to be a mediocre basketball team.
I think we're 100%.
Our standards are shit.
I think we're 100% going to be garbage. Like, there's no question about how garbage we're going to be. But I think the difference between us and like an Orlando made the playoffs last year, but us and like a Charlotte is like Charlotte is garbage with no young talent, in a bunch of bad contracts, right?
Yeah.
We have young talent. I mean, there is hope if these dudes do pan out that we could be a good team, and that's about as far as I'll go. So I would not put us in that Charlotte perpetual mediocrity.
I mean, as an organization, what do you mean? We've been mediocre forever.
I'm talking about how Charlotte is in the sense that they win 39 games every year and they're $20 million over the luxury tax. We're not paying Nicholas Batum $20 million a year, right? We're not trading 4 first-rounders for Frank Kaminsky and stuff like that. So I think that those are the truly bad franchises. If you're Charlotte and you're looking at your roster, you're like, oh, man, yeah, maybe Malik Monk will turn into a good player. You know what I mean? With the Bulls, we have the young players who it's okay, if these guys turn into something, we have the foundation for something. We're just not going to be good anytime soon. So if you're hoping for the Bulls to be good anytime soon, that's not going to happen.
Say we do pan out and Markin is an all-star and Levine continues to play at all-star level. Otto Porter contributes great. Wendell ends up being a solid player. Still a 40-win team.
Great, but now we have some options to make some moves.
I'm being pessimistic.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna give. I see us as a premier franchise in the NBA, and our expectations have come so far down that people are fired up about this offseason.
You only say that because our team's in the city of Chicago.
No, and we have 6 NBA championships
in the 90s.
Yeah, but bro, do you this is what I'm saying? How far have we come down? I get it. We had Mike.
Yeah, and
I get it. We got lucky and hit D Rose,
and we had a high area right there. That was the peak, and now we're in a valley, and we've been there for. I'm the biggest Bulls hater in the world, right?
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, man, you know who's in a dire situation? The Chicago Bulls. I can't sit here and say that because there is possibilities, there's situations that could work out in our favor, right? And when you look at it, Charlotte's just the perfect example. Pull up Charlotte's salary table. Just look at it. Look at who they're paying and for how long they're paying.
I wasn't comparing the roster. I was just comparing.
But those are the situations. The Bulls are in a situation where you have young players and you have hope. Do we have as much hope as Dallas?
I mean, but no. 2 years ago we were paying D Wade. We had Rondo on the squad. That was very Hornets. That was very Hornets-ish of us.
The Hornets would have won 38 games with that roster. So yeah, then that's why we hated those moves,
right?
But those are short-term deals, right? A bad move for the Bulls is would have been hey, let's go give Chris Middleton $130 million. Right? That's the type of player we're going to go out. And now we're going to build around the bad contracts of Otto Porter and Chris Middleton and Zach LaVine. And we have 3 or 4 bad contracts, but that's who we're married to for the next however many years because those are the guys that we're paying. We're not in that situation. LaVine is tradable if we need to. Right? Look at some of the money that went out this year. Someone's going to take $19 million worth of Zach LaVine, right? That's a tradable deal. So if he becomes an asset later on in the year and we can get something good for him, then flip his ass and continue the I have no problem.
No, I feel you. Listen.
With sucking for 2 to 3 years. I really don't. Anybody, the people who are we need to do this move and that move, and why aren't we involved in this and why aren't we involved in that? It's because we don't need to be. We're not in a position where unless we could pull off 2 or 3 really big moves, we couldn't have been good. So why not just let it marinate for a little bit? That's what I'm fine with. I don't want any knee-jerk reactions. I don't want overpaying B-level guys.
Because we did the knee-jerk reaction.
And then you're stuck with those contracts. And if you can't move them, you can't move them. There are teams who are just now getting off of the likes of Alan Crabb and Solomon Hill. Those contracts cripple you.
Yeah.
Because they're those not
Alan
quite
Crabb.
max, but he's getting $20 million. How the fuck? Look at Memphis sitting there with $20 million to Chandler Parsons. Just what do we do with this? I don't know. We wanted to be competitive, so we gave Chandler Parsons $100 million. Well, he's trash. We're Washington. That's a dire situation. Hey, we were stuck into a bad situation where now we're going to have to get rid of a 26-year-old Bradley Beal just to get some relief. But hey, we're still paying Jan Mahinmi $16 million. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
We might have that situation with Otto Porter coming up if he doesn't get better. But
I mean, that's
a bad deal.
That's a bad deal.
Yeah. But there's teams that have 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. And I get that we do have an upside.
Yeah.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully the light gets bigger and doesn't stay essentially pretty small, and we end up just being a mediocre team competing for the 7th seed every single year, right? We were just in a position. I've said this so many times. I just feel like I'm repeating myself, but we were. If you go back and look at the cap space we had and the situation that we had the potential to be in, we just didn't do what we. You know how much we. I don't know the exact number. I can't remember, but we had crazy amounts of salary cap.
When was this? This summer?
This is 2 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe.
And we signed D-Wade?
When we landed, no, after D-Wade. When we landed Markkanen, we were going into that. When we signed Otto, we had $1 trillion in cap space.
Yeah, well, we traded for him, yeah.
Yeah, we filled it with that. Our cap space we ended up using on Levine, Otto, Thad Young.
But who are you going to sign?
Well, that's what I mean. We're never in the discussion to do, Anthony Davis or anything.
But those guys want to go either play with somebody.
That's the problem,
or play in a situation. Okay,
that
so
is
listen.
the issue.
So listen.
You hear me?
So listen. Or those guys want to do like what Kyrie and KD and just said, oh, that's a good group of young players. We'll go play there. So what I'm saying is this. If you're the Bulls and you have what you think could possibly become a group of good young players – right now they're promising they could become good. Well, maybe at that point in time, someone will say, "Hey, that's a situation I want to go play in because A, it's a well-known organization, and B, it's a great city," right? But what you can't do is sacrifice that cap space to sign fillers, to sign guys who might get you to 42 wins and get you a couple playoff games. You cannot do that.
But isn't that kind of what we did? Isn't Otto Porter a filler? Isn't Thad Young a filler?
Otto Porter has
aren't those guys fillers to get us?
Otto Porter has what, 2 3s left on his deal?
Aren't those guys to get us to
Thad
42
Young's
wins?
A 2-year deal. Those are short-term deals. Those guys aren't getting us to 42 wins this year.
No,
who the fuck is the Bulls winning 42 games?
I mean, we could potentially win 37 games.
Wow. And what NBA?
Well, why not though?
In the same NBA that we watched last year?
If we overachieve,
you said 37 games?
If we overachieve like the Kings, like the Nets, you know what I mean? Why is it so out of the realm that we can win 37 games? I don't know what league that you're looking at where Thad Young isn't a filler player.
Thad Young's a filler player, but not on a 2-year deal. I'm fine with it. If you give Thad Young 4 years, right? If you go out and you sign Chris Middleton, right? I liked Brogdon because he was young and he was a point guard, and that was something that we really needed. And for 4 years of Brogdon, I'm fine with that. But not these guys who make you incrementally better and they end up being on your team for 4 or 5 years. That's the issue that I have. Don't go out signing those guys. I'm fine with the Thad Young deal. Whose deal are you looking up?
I was just looking up that.
It's 2 years with a 3rd-year option, right? You can buy him out on the 3rd year. Someone will trade. And the other thing with Thad Young is this. You know what Thad Young has? Trade value. Some contender will come around. That's why you signed Thad Young. You might be able to get a couple picks out of his ass in fucking February when teams are like, man, you know what I want? I want a versatile wing forward guy that plays D and plays hard. We need that. So now you trade Thad Young.
I feel you, but man,
what would you have done? I just don't. I'm trying to figure out what you would have done.
I mean, we did the best we can do. That's the problem. You understand? That's where I feel the issue is. The best we can do nowadays is signing Thad Young, going to get Satoransky, who I like, but this is where the Bulls are. This is where we are as a franchise. I think I just need to get off the plateau of us being a good basketball franchise and just be like, hey, this is where we are. So, Thad Young, welcome. I can't wait for you to be here. I can't wait to go to the United Center and see Thad Young, Zach LaVine, Otto. This is where we're at.
I hopped off that ledge
completely. That's you know what? That's what it is. I haven't jumped off the ledge. I like. For some reason, I like to think that we can attract a free agent and get someone at some point.
I want to say it was.
I haven't jumped off that ledge yet. I guess maybe that's my. It
was in this very room in December. I want to say it happened to me. I took that clean dive right off that ledge and said, "Okay, this is what it is. How do we make the best of this current situation?" Because again, I know you said Charlotte was a bad comparison because there are teams in the NBA that are stuck in perpetual.
We're like Orlando. How
perpetual.
About that? Does that sound better? The Magic?
Yes.
Okay.
We're not like Orlando.
We're the Magic.
Because Orlando, I think, was playing Bismack Biyombo 17 minutes. I mean, you can point to bad contracts all over the place. I understand. Orlando doesn't have the promising young talent.
We're Detroit.
We have multiple guys who if you look at and say, hey, if this guy pans out, it's okay. That I don't have a problem with.
I think I understand what you mean. And when I say that we're the Magic and we're the Hornets, I'm not even talking about roster. I'm talking about the perception around the league.
Of course.
And what franchise we are.
Of course.
And that makes me sad. That's all I'm saying.
I
hate that that's what it is.
But I think
like,
there's
when you think of the Jets or you think of
Darnold.
Like, you think of, what's another example in the NFL?
Like the Bills?
You think of, like, we're not the bottom, Baron. Like, the Bills are the bottom.
Talking about, like the Dolphins.
Yeah, like the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Or the Panthers. Like,
Hold on.
The Panthers or whatever.
Hold on.
The Panthers are whatever franchise. Stop.
Yeah, but they went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like, okay, so do we.
Yeah.
So, like, that's kind of where we're at, right? It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, but I think, like, again, man, but once you come off that ledge and look at it for what it is and say, okay, if these players get good, people will want to come play here. That's the hope. That people will want to come play here, that these players develop into something. You have multiple young players. Just play them. Go out there and give Kobe White 30 minutes. I don't care if he's ready. Go out there and let Lauri Markkanen lead the team in touches. Or I guess Zach LaVine would, but get him a ton of touches.
How about this?
Right?
I'm excited to see them play this year. We got a young PG. We got a couple young pieces. Hopefully Markkanen, outside of that February he had, or was it January?
Just enjoy it.
Just the 1 month. I'm
just
excited.
Enjoy it. See who makes the right strides. See what it could look like. See the beginnings of what, hey, let's fast forward 365 days from now. What will this look like? You might be surprised.
Then the other thing,
I'm not C-Red Fred. I'm not one of these fucking I love what Garpax has done, because the path to get us here, I have not enjoyed, right? But a year ago, it bothered me a lot more because I was probably where you are, like, man, we should be, yeah. But at the same time, it's like when you're not that situation, you could be the Knicks, constantly baiting your fans into thinking that everything that you do is geared towards getting the next big thing that you do not get. You have not signed a marquee free agent since Amari Stoudemire. So that's to me is hell. Hey, we're going to trade away Porzingis because you know what? KD's coming. Kyrie's coming. AD might want to come here too.
It's really,
they love New York.
It's so funny, bro, which is really tough because I think if they get that number 1 pick and get Zion, Kyrie and KD do go there.
Great.
I think once they miss, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's.
But you're banking on the lottery.
You
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's some hope.
It's hope.
Here's some hope, baby. I got some hope. You want some?
Yeah.
Everybody's taking it. That's hope. Hey, if we get this, if it's just ifs. There's not as much ifs. You know when I heard the interview where Paxson finally admitted to the fact that this is a full-scale rebuild and didn't mince words about it and was straightforward about it.
Yeah, that was a positive look. Right.
Because now you, who are in charge of this whole thing, has told me how you feel about it. You're being transparent. That's all I need to hear. That's all I cared about. Fine. Now I'll evaluate this as a rebuild, not as a team that's trying to contend for anything. And as I'm evaluating the rebuild, I like Kobe White. That was the best we could have done at 7. The thing that sucks about our rebuild is we picked 7 3 straight years in a row. But hey, Carter, Markkanen, Kobe White, solid guys.
To be honest, for us to pick at 7 3 years in a row and come out with Kobe, Markkanen, and Wendell is a big win.
And the Otto Porter thing, I understand that like some people hate that deal, and I completely get it because of the money. But in theory, he's a young guy who was in a terrible situation in Washington, and he played well for us when he was healthy. And if he comes out and becomes a good player, that turns into a solid deal. You could have done a lot worse than paying a 25-year-old dude $25 million, right? At least they're young guys. It's like these guys that are close to 30 or on the other side of 30 that are making all this money and aren't going to get any better than what they are. That's when it's like, man. And again, you're selling me hope, but you're not selling me like that like if this, that, and the third happens, hope.
If this domino falls this way.
Yeah, hey, Nick, man, if you do this, then you play your card. Yeah, you play all our cards. If we get dealt pocket aces, we might fucking win the tournament. No shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
the hope is in at least young players that are on the squad and on rookie deals.
Temper the expectations a bit, but I hear you in the fact that it's frustrating because I think a lot of it is still the D Rose era of like we see a championship in our graphs hangover.
I don't really think it's that because I think that fell in our lap. That was a fucking miracle that we got D-Rose.
Yeah.
An absolute miracle. And if you remove that, we've been shit forever. It was a miracle that it was an absolute miracle that we got D-Rose.
Yeah.
So, will you pull this up for me, dear? I want to play you this clip. Stack Jack that we got D-Rose.
Yeah.
So essentially, will you pull this up for me? Oh, you can't really hear it, but I want to play you this clip. I'll keep it low. It might echo a little bit. Hold on. But Stack Jack essentially said that we got right now today. So I can still give you 15 to 20 minutes. You can't really hear in the NBA. I want to play you this clip. And I think the reason I'm not on the NBA team is because Stack Jack essentially said right now today. I can still give you the locker room and coaches and front offices wouldn't even want to deal with that, and that's the problem with the NBA right now. This is Stack Jack. I'm going to play the clip right now, and I'll let you listen to it too quick. Hold on one second. Locker room and coaches and front offices wouldn't even want to deal with that, and that's the problem with the NBA right now. This is Stack Jack. I'm going to play the clip right now, and I'll let you listen to it too quick. Hold on one second.
15, 20 minutes, easy.
Locker room and coaches and
Easy in the NBA. I got
a lot of NBA teams still have a lot of cap space with the NBA right now. This is Stack Jack. I'm going to play the clip right now.
I got 15, 20 minutes, easy.
Hold on one second.
Easy in the NBA. Easy.
A lot of NBA teams
Easy in the NBA. I got
a lot of NBA teams still have a lot of cap. You still feel like you have some proof in the league.
I got 15, 20 minutes, easy. I got 15, easy in the NBA. I got 15, 20 minutes, easy in the NBA. Question is,
A lot of NBA teams.
easy in the NBA. I think more teams are worried about me pushing their guys to be better and harder because they don't do that now. Easy in the NBA. If I'm on a team now, which they don't push this guy, that I think 3 years in that don't want to work, I don't care about getting better than their guys. I'm going to say something better and harder because they don't only win if we all. I'm on the same situation. They don't push guys don't hold guys accountable. I think 3 years in that don't want to work. That's why I don't care about getting better than their guys. I'm going to say something to hold guys accountable because they don't only win if we all. I'm on the same situation. They don't push guys don't hold guys accountable. Coach 3 years in that don't want to work. That's why I don't care about getting better than their guys. I'm going to say something to hold guys accountable. The biggest thing about winning is all day. I'm going to tell you my folks don't let the game produce that. They don't love it. That's we love it. We can't have nothing. We play basketball. Big Herman, 30,000. Biggest thing about winning is teaches basketball. We just have to go on the park and play. So love is different. I think we love us guys. We can't have nothing. We play basketball. Yes, I'm 30 guys. Biggest thing about winning is teaches basketball. We love the game. I'm ready right now. So love is different.
My bad if that overlapped a little bit, but should have started coming through towards the end. Essentially, Stack Jack is like, I can still give you 20 minutes in the league. There's no doubt about that. Stack Jack, Steven Jackson's playing in the big three right now. Do you think that he has a valid point in saying that there's people in the league, no one in the league is telling these young dudes, like, you're not working hard enough, or you're not doing this. You're not, like, is there, like, if Stack Jack was in Philly, in other words, he'd be on Embiid like, yo, you out of shape, bro. Like, is there anyone in Philly that has the heart to say that to Embiid? He's the golden child out there, right?
His name was Jimmy Butler. Yeah,
right. But does Stack Jack have a point that not enough people are stepping up and telling people, especially some of these young prima donna guys that are already getting paid all this money, that you're not working hard enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. There's no way we're going to win anything if you're acting like this.
Yeah, I think so two things I think he told a truth and a lie. The lie is that he can give you 15 to 20 minutes a night and then 41 years
two
old.
Two truths and a lie?
Yeah. So the truth is him personally, yeah, that is why he's not in the league. He also got sent home. I love Stack Jack. You know, let me preface it by that.
Yeah, me too.
Did get sent home by Pop on a playoff team. He just straight up cut him right before the playoff. Remember 2 weeks before the season started, they released him. So he's had some issues. With that being said, 100%. I think today's veteran, like we just talked about it, your Dudley, your Vince Carter, they're more put your arm around the guy. You know, hey, Ben Simmons, it's going to be all right, man. You're a really good player, man. You got to really believe it like a really good player, man. You got to da-da-da.
Yeah, it's the what do they call that? Love? Not tough love.
Not tough love. It's like not tough love. It's like what these kids respond to nowadays. It's not that dog leader who's going to be cussing you out and telling you what it is and all that. And I think that was part of the problem with Jimmy, is that Jimmy was that dog leader. That's just how he was. He's used to the Tibbs situation and how it was on the Bulls, and you kind of had those dogs. Whereas a guy like Ben Simmons, I mean, you know, shout out to Australia, but my man's Australia. Yeah, he's not built like that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not used to that. He's probably never been coached that way, and his whole life he's been told how great he is.
And it's just that age now, too.
Yeah.
he gets all. I mean, as much hate as he gets on the internet, he's getting more love than hate, and he's not worried about.
And it's generational too. Like, and again, I hate to sound like the old guy, right? But I got young people that work for me, like really young people of that 19 to 20 to 21 to 22 range, right? And like, it's true. They respond completely differently, right? They don't respond to like that grittiness and like that I'm in your face. Like, they need to be like coddled and explained as to why they need to do something.
Yeah.
And like, again, I sound like an old guy, but I see it every day. It's like, I can't go in on this person because they won't respond to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need that, right? Because this is sports. This is competition. This is talking about getting in shape and playing hard and all that. So I think you got to find that leader that's kind of like in between all that, someone who's going to hold them accountable, but at the same time understanding that like you can't be like MJ and ride guys out the league, you know?
Yeah.
So I think he's right. Yeah. I always think it's funny. I think if you were to interview 20 former players, right?
Yeah.
19 of them would tell you that they could play in the NBA right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I always take that with a grain of salt. Like, you know, he's 41 years old. You know what I mean? If he was like 32, like, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. But, you know, he's 41 years old and, you know, whatever. So, yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Stack Jack's just a no-nonsense guy. He
Yeah.
thinks a lot of these dudes are soft.
Yeah.
And he's saying, man, let me on a squad with some of these sawbuzz. I'll let you know exactly what you need to hear.
Yeah.
I don't care what the coach thinks. I don't care what the front office thinks. I'm going to come in here and keep it 100.
Great.
And that's probably why he's not on the squad. And I think it's more also that he can't give you 20 minutes.
He can't give you 20 minutes at all.
He looks like he's in good shape, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, man. He's a professional athlete.
You know what I'm saying?
Looking like you're in good shape and being ready to play in an NBA basketball game are two
Says two
completely
different
different things. Are we going to touch on those two final moves?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Talk about Russell to Houston.
And then we didn't really touch on Kawhi. We didn't really touch on the Kawhi Paul George team up.
I was just
from a
gonna say,
basketball
what was
perspective.
your favorite move and what you're looking forward to the most? And I was gonna bring up the Kawhi stuff, but yeah, let's talk about the last two.
I think, you know what, man, the move that I look forward to the most, because I think it's the move that put the players in the best basketball situation. When you talk about like depth in a roster,
Yeah,
the Clippers have a whip.
yeah, they do.
They pretty much who they didn't really lose anybody. Gallinari,
They lost Gallo, yeah.
great.
Shea
Didn't
Alexander.
say Gilgeous-Alexander, but you brought in Kawhi Leonard and
Paul George.
Defensively,
Re-signed Pat Bev, kept Lou, kept Montrezl
Yo.
Harrell,
the
kept
six-man
Zubac.
the Lou Williams Memorial, the Jamal Crawford Lou Williams Memorial Award, or the Sixth Man of the Year. Yeah, like
That has to be renamed,
it
right?
has to be called the Lou Williams Crawford. Every year it's Jamal Crawford, and then after Jamal Crawford it was Lou Williams.
No doubt.
But if you look at that squad defensively, first of all, you're gonna have Pat Bev, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George on the floor together at the same time. Who's getting buckets on the perimeter?
I was talking about this the other day. It's all you're going to hear out of those dudes is switch,
Yeah.
switch.
Switch.
Forget about chasing Steph around.
Yeah.
Forget about chasing all these. They're going to switch everything. They're never going to get tired because they're all going to be able to.
You have
get
Montrezl
it.
Harrell bouncing
Yep.
off the walls, coming, and they got
Switch.
Yeah,
And they're going to be able to throw Kawhi on people. They're going to be able to throw Paul. They'll throw. It's just crazy.
Lou Williams getting buckets.
The perimeter is going to be nuts.
Yeah, they got like legitimately 8 or 9 guys that can play.
What I was going to get to with the Clippers is what I'm looking forward to is that crosstown rivalry, like that game at Staples on like a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick.
Be rocking, yeah.
Lakers Clippers, that's just
Yeah.
going to be amazing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a
100%.
bunch of Clippers
Absolutely.
fans in there now.
Yep.
It's going to be Lakers fans in there now. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to most.
Definitely.
I also think that Russell Westbrook and James Harden are going to somehow now come into the season with this underdog mentality, and they're going to try to go berserk, which is going to be insane.
So let me ask you this. Initial reaction, and now I've had some time reaction to the Russell Westbrook situation.
My initial reaction was, wow, I don't know if James is going to be able to adjust that much because the last 2 years have been purely he holds the rock 90% of the game,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know how he's going to adjust. Then I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't necessarily know if he even wants as much usage as he's been getting,
Right.
but it's just mandatory because that's just what it is.
Paul's been hurt, and like
Paul has been hurt, and Paul's not the Paul that he needs to be for them to win a
Yeah.
championship. So it's kind of mandatory that I need to score, play make, and do everything.
right.
And I don't know if he necessarily he's not gonna have a problem taking a little bit of a back seat to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
So like the more I thought about it in that aspect, I was like, all right, he'll be able to get a little time off. He'll be able to he's going to be able to catch some balls off driving kicks like Eli was talking about the other day.
James doesn't move without the ball.
Yeah, but he's not going to have to, right?
Yeah.
So like if you want to
the defense is going to collapse on Russ.
go ahead and let Russ go one-on-one with your favorite player.
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
a bucket.
Yeah, it's a bucket.
So like if you don't want to help, cool.
Yeah.
But if you help, you know what I'm saying? It's different, right? So the more I think about it, and like I said, I think that mindset. Y'all go ahead and talk about the Lakers. Y'all go ahead and talk about the Clippers.
We're here.
We'll just go ahead and
We've won 2 out of the last 3 MVPs, but no big deal.
We'll keep, and I think as much as Russell is an ego, just mental maniac, I think he's a smart dude, and I think he'll have no problem. Russell might go for like 13 dimes this year.
Yeah.
Like that's I could 100% see Russell going for like 19 and 13.
Yeah.
And letting and continuing to let deferring to James.
Well, he
to
conceded
score
some
a ton of
shots
points.
to Paul George. He averaged only 20 this year, I think, Russ. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a little more, but
21,
yeah.
22. It wasn't 29, 30 that he's usually doing. My first initial
If he can defer to Paul George, he can definitely defer to James Harden.
Yeah. And yeah, 100%. My first initial reaction was, wow, what a crazy trade. Like, I don't know what Houston's trying to do. This isn't going to work. There's only one basketball. These are not just two of the most highest usage players. These are 2 highest usage players ever, right?
Yeah.
Respectively. So that was my first reaction. Then the more I thought about it, a few things come into play. Number one, at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook's just a better player than Chris Paul, right? Like, you swapped out a better player. You got a better player in the deal, right? Number two, kind of like you said, Russ is going to play hard. He's going to play crazy. He might be a head case a bit, but I think he's like we talk about Ben Simmons. Well, Russell's the ultimate. We have picked you apart so much that now we actually undervalue you, right? It's like you're no longer a good basketball player. It's like, oh, they couldn't get rid of Russell Westbrook. Nobody wants that. I heard someone say that Russell Westbrook is the 3rd worst contract in the NBA.
Yeah, it's a fallacy.
Almost fell out of my chair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a fallacy.
Like, okay, I get it. John Wall, like, yeah, that's the worst contract in the NBA.
Yeah.
But Russell Westbrook is not the 3rd worst contract in the NBA. He makes a lot of money. Yeah, that might be hard to move off of, but he's 30, 31. He still plays hard. He has a ton of value on rebounds and assists, and he's going to go all out. And yeah, I get it. He can't shoot threes, but you adjust. You got other guys on that squad that can shoot threes. Eric Gordon is still there. He can shoot threes. And like you said, it kind of gives someone to kind of take that pressure off, and you can stagger that.
It's going to be interesting to see Russell in a D'Antoni type of mindset offense where he's just – you thought he'd do whatever he wanted in OKC.
This is a true green light.
This is going to be something to see. Yeah. Like, with him, he's just going to be out there running around doing whatever he wants.
He's like, look, Russ, like last year I gave Daniel House the green light. You get the greatest light you want.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and I really think that they're going to play into that. You guys are going to talk about the Clippers, and we'll just hang around the 3 and 4 seed, and then we get to the playoffs, and we can make some noise, no doubt.
Do you see any of that mentality in the Warriors? Because they're getting 0 pub right now.
It's going to be tough for Steph to play by himself.
D-Lo.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
So that's the nice thing about it, though. Steph's not going to have to play 35, 36. I mean, you have D'Angelo Russell who can, you can kind of stagger those minutes. You still got Draymond. Clay is coming back. The issue is that after that, it's really slim picking.
Yeah, it's barren.
No more Iguodala. Sean Livingston's a corpse. Quinn Cook is gone. I didn't realize Quinn Cook was gone.
Quinn Cook was getting
threes in the playoffs. Yeah,
and buckets. He was getting a bunch of minutes.
Yeah,
he's in LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
And the question is, do they give a shit?
Yeah.
You think they're like, fine, we'll take a year off of this whole match. We'll move into our building nice and quiet. You know what I mean?
Like, are they gonna? Are they built to dig in? Because they're gonna have to dig in and really compete with these dudes now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. Draymond might have him on that. Clay proved a lot to me this year that he's a lot tougher than I realized. I knew he could fire it. I knew he could catch and shoot. He seems like a bulldog kind of to me now.
Yeah.
Like I was shocked by
you saw him more fiery. His attitude was on display. You saw like Clay's like whole attitude, the whole talking shit to Drake thing,
everything.
Yeah, like Aubrey.
I didn't. He had more dog in him, or has more dog in him than I realized.
Yeah. Clay's a dog.
So
yeah.
I mean, you can't count them out just because they're back to. We're the underdog again. They got the three same core people that they had before, and they still got a 2-time MVP, the 2 best shooters of all time. I think Clay's jumper is better than Steph's. Clay does shit I've never seen.
Yeah,
the way he fires, catches and lets it go. I don't see that.
Yeah,
Steph hits crazier jumpers, so I think people are like, yo,
Steph's just a crazy ball handler.
Yeah,
he can get it off.
Yeah,
he can get it off with little to no.
And he gets he gets crazy shots and comes
Clay's
off picks.
Just automatic.
He's getting a lot of 4-point plays and shit. Clay is just like water. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There was when Steph pulls up, I think it's going in. When Clay pulls up, I know it's going in. Yeah. It's like this is a basket.
It's automatic.
So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing the Rockets just because how that's going to work. It's just like that dynamic of how is this going to work. I'm really interested to see that Clippers-Lakers matchup because that shit's going to be rocking.
Yeah.
And as much as, if you want to admit it or not, LeBron coasted last year. He knew what time it was. He knew this was the year.
Yeah.
He knew this was the year.
LeBron took a year off, man.
He took a year off.
I don't think LeBron was bothered by anything that happened last year. I told you this already.
Bro,
his legacy is signed, sealed, and delivered.
He was walking into the arena with a red
wine.
Come on.
And a goblet.
He's not worried.
He's not worried about it. He was like, hey, this sucks. I'd like to be playing, but you know what I'm going to do? You saw him all summer. He was kicking it and getting drunk.
Yeah,
he's like just smoking cigars.
He's like, 28, 8 and 8 still.
I'm going to kick with my kids in June. Great. What are y'all up to? I'm going to go to some games.
Don't worry.
Let's go. Brownie, you going to play over there? All right, cool. That's great. Let's go
do it. I'm
not worried. I got a lot of money.
We got some help coming. I talked to Rich.
Yeah, we're good.
We got help coming.
Rich handled it. Rich was at the lunch with. Rich was at the lunch with.
Rich just pull up, do anything like so.
So let me ask you this. Just 2 quick questions. Number 1, if you had to guess league MVP next year.
Wow. League MVP next year.
League MVP.
I think Giannis has a good chance to go back-to-back just because I think he's going to have to do the most.
Yeah.
Like, but all these other teams are going to be splitting. Like, their numbers aren't going to be too OD. Like, I can't see James' numbers being as crazy as they were this year. LeBron might win it just because you know what's going to happen with LeBron? If they have crazy wins and his numbers are back, it's going to be that time where the media is like, I think LeBron needs another one. He probably could have won one before. Oh, LeBron probably needs another.
The Lakers
MVP
have the
here.
Best record in the NBA. They for sure win it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I could see Kawhi winning it, coming off of what he did.
I don't think he'll play enough games.
But I was just going to say that. So
I don't think he'll play enough games.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I don't know,
man. It's Giannis. The thing that's interesting about Giannis, like as far as MVPs go, like is there, and like you could maybe D Rose would be the only person that you could say this about. Has there ever been an MVP where you're like, man, this dude still has so much more left in his game to grow on? You know what I mean? Has there ever been a more, for lack of a better term, incomplete MVP where it's like, wait, Giannis, he's just scratching the surface. It's like, oh, he still doesn't shoot the ball. You know,
D Rose is a good comparison.
D Rose will probably be the best comparison. Even then, I feel like D Rose was more complete. It was like, oh, D Rose can get better at doing this.
Like Steph was at the top of his game.
Yeah.
James at the top of his
Russ
game.
were obviously at the top
of their game.
It's like,
it's
is Giannis at the top of his game right now? Like, no. He's just fucking really good.
Ask Toronto.
Yeah. Ask Kawhi.
Ask Nick Nurse.
Ask Kawhi. Yo, did you see Nick Nurse's lame ass logo hat thing?
Yeah, the NN.
The NN was terrible.
Yeah.
All right, second question. Give me your NBA Finals and who wins.
The NBA Finals. Obviously, we're so far out, but from what I saw out of Kawhi and what I saw out of Paul George when he was healthy,
Yeah.
and
What you saw of that Clippers team before they got
there, their defense is still there,
and Doc
has the experience. They're going to be interesting. I know they're the favorite right now to come out of the West.
Yeah.
I think people are still forgetting that LeBron James is LeBron James, too.
He's still in the association.
Yeah, so, I mean,
he's going to be fired up this year.
they're going to be locked in.
We talked about him coasting last year. This year, he's like, all right, I'm ready.
And I can see them.
This is the run for him. This is the last, like, 3 years.
This is the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Where, he's going to be at the top of his shit last 2 years.
I can see LeBron walking away, at the top. I'm good. I don't want to have that shitty year. I don't want to, fall down. I don't want to deal with. I don't want to be crumbling LeBron.
You don't see him going out like Mike, with the last couple of years, just you don't think his love to play ball is
Mike's last year was in 1998 when he hit the shot against Utah.
But that's what I'm saying. But he still played.
Where? When?
Washington.
I don't remember.
You don't.
I don't recall.
I didn't catch it.
I don't recall.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
I don't recall.
But
yeah. I mean, but imagine if Mike had never played. It was you still could have played. But I think LeBron is that. Yeah, I think
this leg is yours.
He's a different dude, man. I think he might just be fuck it. But it's all said and done. He will have played 20 years in the league. Yeah. What else do I need to do? I don't need to be out here 42 running around. I'm not trying to do the Tom Brady thing. Yeah.
Right. I can't pick the finals, bro. I think it's Clippers. Or Lakers that come out. And I think it's probably Philly. I think Philly wins the East. I think they're going to be mean.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Clippers, Celtics.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Celtics were so bad last year that we forgot how good they could be when it's going right. And
what about no Al, though?
No Al, but I think you can't understate how negative Kyrie was on the development of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And the most important thing that the Celtics, if you're the Celtics, your number one focus should be the continued development of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, in particular Jason Tatum. And I think without Kyrie there, it allows Tatum to be the true number 2 guy. I think you'll have a more defined role. They spent the whole year trying to get Gordon Hayward back on track. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know what the deal is with him and Grant Stevens. I've never seen a player where it's just work yourself back into shape on a playoff team. But I think he will come back into form. He's had a year. Now he's going to have a whole offseason of rehabbing. He was
so bad last year.
He was so bad. He was terrible.
He was terrible.
He started to get good at the end of the year, but he was terrible for 75% of the year.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be back. I think that the Horford loss is huge. But as much as I killed Stevens last year, and again, I will always say it, I've never seen anybody.
Terry either.
I've never seen anybody.
No, he was a good bench player for them.
Fine. 57
Come
million.
on. But I'm saying that's a loss for them.
That's a loss
for him coming off the bench.
Again, you for sure. Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Can't argue that. But they still got Marcus Smart. He's still over there. But
didn't they lose Morris too?
Yeah.
So they lost a couple pieces.
They got
a shot.
They lost some players, but they got a shot. I think I'm going Boston right now, and that's my bold pick. But I think it's gonna be just like last year with the East. You're gonna look at the playoffs in the East and be like, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I think Milwaukee's gonna have the best record again, but you're gonna look at it at the end and be like, I have no idea.
Milwaukee, that best record, that's kind of bullsish.
Very bullsish.
With D Rose and Giannis.
Yeah,
it's they're just gonna
you just play hard. You just
win a ton of games.
You play harder than every night. That was Tibbs' whole thing. I just want to play harder. Yeah. NBA teams take nights off. Newsflash. You know what I mean? If you go in there into Detroit on one night, they don't feel like playing. Yeah, you're gonna get the W.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's no regular season award for winning a lot of games.
Facts.
Warriors been coasting through the regular season since the 73 win one.
No doubt.
Yeah. It's nothing, man. Just Kawhi didn't even play in the regular season.
Yo, let's leave it right there, man. Big Nick the Quick.
Yep.
We're back. I'm excited that we're back. We might start kicking out. We should just start kicking out. We'll talk. But we're back. I'm back.
We left y'all hanging during all this madness, man. But, definitely, man. Feels good to be back.
No doubt. I'm back in town. I know you see the hat. I got some snapbacks coming. This is it right here. The back's got the little no catch up with the puff embroidery on it. It's hard, super comfortable, high quality snapback. I got some t-shirts dropping in a couple days.
Yeah.
You'll see that coming out. Make sure you lock in with us. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever, Google, audio.
Follow on Instagram.
Yeah,
follow on
us
Twitter.
everywhere, man.
Tell a friend.
You already know. For Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. No catch up, sports talk via Chicago. Tap in with us. Feels good to be back, bro.